Hi, everybody. I come to you tonight to talk about a person. Y'all know my affiliation with Elvis and everything. And as you also may have seen about a year ago and here lately, there's been a running controversy or a running question, even about a little girl that has been seen in a picture with Elvis. I will try to find a picture that I can add to this in order to show you the picture. But I think a lot of you are familiar with it. It's about a 5-year-old girl sitting on Elvis's lap, and he's sitting in his living room. And I believe he has on a dark jacket. The reason I'm going to talk to you about this little girl is for a long time, some people thought it was me. I didn't know whether it was me or someone else, but it certainly had a familial resemblance to mine and a couple of my relatives' younger pictures of that same time. In fact, the young lady in the picture, whose name, by the way, is Leanne Long, was the same age as I was almost. This particular picture was made in 1964, and I would have been 4 years old in 1964. And I believe this young lady was about to be 5 or already was 5. So there's about a year um, in between us. Found out absolutely by accident and ironically from a gentleman that used to be in our group. His name's Mr. Thompson. And he saw that picture there, and people had been saying that it was me. I had not either confirmed or denied that it was me. I had only said that people say it looks like me, and a lot of people have sworn it couldn't be anyone else, that it was me. So that was usually my answer. I would say, I didn't know if it was me, but I've been told it looks a lot like me. Even a very close family friend that was in the inner circle, I had her look at it, and she asked, Shed, is that you? Um, I won't name that person because I haven't really talked to them about it, but you all know her and she's very reputable and I'm very close to her. So, skip ahead a bit, back to the picture. Mr. Thompson brings up something in the group one night and he said, That is not you. That little girl's name is Leanne. Well, of course, at the time, I didn't know whether to believe him, not believe him, whatever. But he and I had a face to face talk, and he told me that he knew that picture because it had been hanging on his wall for a very long time. And it was a very emotional reason why he had that picture. And so when I talked to him in person and heard the story and subsequently went and checked out the story, which he invited me to do, I did find out that there was a Leanne Long who, at 5 years old, unfortunately suffered with a form of brain cancer. And she was, it was fixed like almost a make a wish that she would go up and visit with Elvis. And that's all she wanted to do was go visit with Elvis. And she was in the hospital at St. Joseph in Memphis, although they lived in Missouri at the time. And her wish was granted, and she did get to go talk to Elvis. And I even had the good fortune, of talking with her older brother. And he and I had a good talk. He said that, his mother, whose name was Marianne, had come over with her and just let her, it was either her, yes, I believe it was her mother, and let her have her time with Elvis, that he had uh, done the pictures with her and he took her by her hand. And as Elvis would with children that you all know I've talked about before, he led her around the house and showed her various things, in the house, and spent more time with her than, maybe some others wouldn't have done to such an extent. But Elvis loved kids. He especially liked to give back to the community and do nice things for people. So it was a labor of love for him. Um, as I said, her name was Leanne Long. Unfortunately, she did pass away not long after that picture, according to the documents that I did find. I did find a death certificate for her, but I will not show that out of respect for her family and her. This is not something I want to make into a morbid scene or anything like that. I just want to concentrate on the promise that I made to Mr. Thompson that I would make it known who this little girl was. And the reason I chose tonight is because I was just given word that somebody else who does videos in the Elvis world had come out and stated that he would be doing a story on this young lady soon. And they are hinting at, that it may be somebody you guys know or whatever. Well, it's probably Mr. Thompson, who you all know, but just in case they were talking about me, I didn't want there to be any kind of controversy, any kind of ulterior motive or anything. I wanted to come straight out. And most important of all, what I wanted to do was keep my promise to Mr. Thompson, because I went to him face to face and shook his hand and told him that I would tell this young lady's story. The reason that I haven't done it prior to today is because her older brother that I had been talking to, the number I had for him does not accept my calls anymore. So that gentleman was supposed to send me other pictures of little Leanne, and I never heard anything else from him. So that was a stumbling block in me being able to finish the video that I had originally wanted to put out about Leanne, because she's been the unknown little girl for such a long time, and I legitimately had been told many times that it looked like me, that it was me, that kind of thing, but never did I or my family equivocally state that that was me. I would always say I did not know, but I would say something like, that's what they tell me or whatever. But so that aside, I do want you all to know that when you look at that picture, remember little Leanne and how content and overjoyed she looked sitting in Elvis's lap, and remember her that way. One other thing you might get a kick out of, there is a restaurant or a little diner over in Marion, Arkansas, which is just basically across the river from Memphis. And that diner is called the Shake Shack, and it's Elvis themed. And I talked to a lady who was given one of those pictures by Miss Marianne herself and told her the story. So that's what leads me to believe, even though I didn't get to see other pictures of Leanne, that I do believe that, that was her or some little girl whose mama, was overjoyed that even though she lost her little girl at such a young age, she knew that she got to experience such happiness. So, but I will close this for now. If you have any questions, you guys can always text me, and I'll do the best I can. Sorry this was a rush job, but I kind of felt like I had to keep my promise before someone else took that opportunity away from me. So, y'all be well, be blessed, and stay safe.